That'd be entertaining.
Yeah. Like a
All right.
marathon.
Welcome to Section 31, episode number 373. I'm Dan Hammond.
And I am Rogue Schindler.
This week, we're back in the new year. There's a new season of Orville. We can talk about the first episode and list all the cards that we thought should come from the episode. I've still been playing this game, this mobile game, this Fleet Command game. We can talk about that. I joined a group, and it's made everything so much better. Anyway, I got a box I'm going to open up because I just got shipped product from one of our satellite groups, so we can see what that is. Anything else going on? We got a tournament this weekend?
We have a tournament this weekend. I just came back from a convention that probably nobody cares about because it's very fandom niche, but we had a good time with that. And we're getting ready for New Year. So let's jump into it.
Right on. All right, so let's talk about the Orville. New season. I went ahead and just did what I did last time. I bought it on Amazon, so I got to watch. I think they post it like the day after it comes out, so Friday night instead of Thursday night. And man, I've enjoyed the first episode. I watched the second episode as well, but we'll talk about the first episode. When did you get to watch it?
Just now, actually. Yeah, I have done that with Amazon before. They usually release the show around midnight or 12:30 the day after, or I guess the morning, quote unquote, after it airs. I also have Hulu where it is available the next day as well, but you have to watch commercials. I'm kind of on the fence with that, because the Hulu is actually not a bad deal. It's a couple bucks more a month you can pay, and you can get no commercials. And I was really on the fence of doing that, except that the subscription I got through a deal, so it's actually almost twice as much.
Oh my! Okay.
So I'm like, well, I'm gonna hang on, see if I can hang on with until my deal expires. I think it was like 6 months or something, for only like $5.99 instead of $8.99, and then it's $11.99 for no commercials. And so like, Argh.
Yeah. Now I can't see what I'm looking at. My Amazon Prime page, and I don't see it. Doesn't show anymore. Once you buy in, it doesn't say what the cost anymore. I'll check my orders, but it wasn't.
Right.
It wasn't that much.
Yeah, so there's other shows I watch on Hulu, so it makes it worthwhile. But I enjoyed it. I watched the first episode. It was interesting that I enjoyed the semi-homage to the season premiere of TOS season 2, which is.
Oh, I missed that. What I miss?
Well, it's a muck time,
Right. Yes.
So, every 7 years, etc.
Yes.
But they kind of hit it, and they're like, oh yeah, and then we're going to move on.
But that party was the, set everything in motion for all the episodes. Everyone's got a couple up, right?
Right. It was the impetus for exploring all of the interpersonal relationships, which was interesting. They had a good variety. I like that they're kind of carrying through the relationship with Isaac and the Doctor after the whole hostage situation / marooning on the planet thing, and that kind of brought them together as not really like a relationship, but as a kind of like a friendship / I don't know, exploration. He's observing them and trying to get the captain over, or the first officer, and the captain had more character growth in that episode than he did the whole first season. It seemed like, right? It really did. And a part of me kind of is rolling my eyes every now and then, but like the conference scene where he's like, all right, we're gonna go watch Isaac, or we're gonna go watch Bortus pee. I don't want to have any jokes. I don't want to hear any snide remarks or any innuendos, and like him getting all like, no, don't do that, like uncomfortable with it. I'm like, you are the one who makes all these jokes, Seth MacFarlane. This seems like disingenuous.
Yeah.
Still entertaining. Feel free to relieve yourself.
If the upcoming animated is as well put together as the Orville is,
oh my god, yeah.
Yeah. No, the the relationship between the security officer and the Dan, right? His name is Dan.
Yeah, Dan, the big head guy.
That's funny. That was amusing. And just the drive by and just suddenly cloaking the ship.
Oh my god! Like you didn't have to cloak the ship to begin with.
Yes, that was uncomfortable as it was. That was great. Very well put together.
Yeah, it was entertaining. For not having a lot happen, it was a good bottle episode on the ship. Instead of going and doing anything, as the captain keeps making, sure would love a krill invasion about now.
Yes.
But no, it was fun to bring it back, bring the show back, and kind of refresh everyone on the characters so that we, have a reminder for the basis moving forward. So looking forward to watching. I'll probably go back and watch the second episode when we get done here.
Excellent. Well, we can talk about that and perhaps the third episode if we both get to watch it in time next week when we rejoin. That'll be everyone's homework. Send us some notes on that.
Yes. Speaking of television news, I actually just remembered this while we were talking about this, but did you hear the kind of a fairly big deal about breaking news regarding the upcoming Picard series?
I heard a bit. What have you got?
Well, what I read last night was that it's going to be set. They wanted to make it really. Patrick Stewart really wanted it to be kind of game changing around like a serious upheaval in the universe, and so it's actually going to be involve the fallout from the destruction of Romulus, which is
So
the event in
Prime universe, not Abrams' universe.
Yes, so but Prime universe post split of the Kelvin universe. So the impetus for the Kelvin universe generation in the original 2009 Star Trek is that Spock goes back in time to try and stop the destruction of Romulus, but fails.
Right.
And then
so this will be a post Spock. Spock is gone.
So Spock is gone. He's disappeared. Yep. Nero follows him. And with their failure, Romulus is destroyed. And now there's all of this fallout from it. And apparently Picard is significantly involved. So that was, I thought, that was pretty bold for one of the things we talked about liking in the Abrams universe, I guess the Kelvin universe now, is that they did not do the classic Star Trek reset button. Like, no, Vulcan is actually gone and we're having to deal with all of that. And this feels like a step in that direction for both universes. Like, this is firmly establishing that, okay, this is definitely happening. This is definitely setting off the Kelvin universe. We are definitely going to have to deal with the fallout from that. And man, that's really significant. The Romulans have been an ever-present
from
foil of the Federation.
I wonder if they're going to do, well, I mean, they could go politically. What does that mean for Alpha Quadrant power shifting? And, the Klingons is going to move in. The Cardassians going to move in. I haven't looked at a map of the, the Star Trek fantasy universe to see what, who's adjacent, other than Federation, who's adjacent, who's likely to profit by that. But that's an interesting parallel. I wonder if they're going to do, any kind of meta storytelling where in the Picard universe, Romulus is gone. In the, in the Abrams universe, Vulcan's gone. What does one, do that the other doesn't? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and then you get, the same problem that they have in the Kelvin universe. I'm sure there were Romulans not on Romulus.
Yep.
They've outright said that it's the fall of the Romulan Empire. So it's not just, well, we've lost Romulus, but the Empire is still kind of coupling together. It's definitely fallen apart, but I'm sure there are probably, planets that were subjugated by the Romulans who are sort of kind of rising up and want to be independent, or maybe they want to take over fragments of the Empire, all these factions. And there's definitely a lot of possibilities that
there's
make
a lot
it really interesting.
Yeah. There's probably a unification faction that wants to get back with, for real.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of that was on Romulus, so that's probably mostly gone. But as you say, when I think about the loss of Vulcan as a planet, probably most of the Vulcans in the universe were on Vulcan. I mean, the majority, right?
Right.
Whereas Romulus, the Empire is huge. There's probably a lot more Romulans off Romulus than there were Vulcans off Vulcan, right?
Probably. I mean, it always seemed interesting that, or kind of, I mean, not interesting or unrelatable, but they are one planet's worth of Romulans that have, I mean, I'm sure colonized and such, but expanded across their empire. And I'm sure there are probably non-Romulans, as we saw with the Renans, that are under subjugation within the Romulan Empire. We never really see them, but we don't really see a lot within the Empire. That's part of the curtain that is drawn around them. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they're probably, maybe they've splinter off and try to find their own empires or try to reunion. I'm sure Remus was probably destroyed. It's in the same system.
That's really interesting because the last TNG movie we had was Nemesis, and it was strong on the Romulans, right?
Yeah.
So we might be. I wonder if they just decided that. I mean, it wasn't a strong movie, but that's where they last left off. So it would make sense to kind of dive in.
Yeah.
The events leading to the Abrams universe and the last setting in the TNG era.
Well, the article I read said it would be 20 years after Nemesis, which takes it roughly 10 to 12 years after the incident in the Kelvin track.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's enough time for a lot of stuff to happen. So that would be interesting to jump in, and that could be great. They just jump in. This is what's going on, and then we're just learning more and more about what's happened in the last 10 years, and
yeah,
where the Enterprise is off to. And I wonder if because they did a really good job with the Countdown comic, telling the story of what's going on, where these people are. I wonder how much of that they're going to lean on or just abandon.
That's actually interesting to mention that, because they specifically cite that in the article I was talking about. Like, the Countdown comic sets this up as supplementary material for that that crossover. Now, that is not canon, but what's his name? Robert. The guy, not yeah. One of the the screenplay writer's screenplay. He was also producer of 2009 Star Trek, and he's been involved recently. He was the one they kept interviewing. He said a lot of that will probably become canon.
Nice. Well, I mean, it was a good story. It had a lot of the main characters.
Yeah. I mean, and it was written by, like, that was part of them writing their lead into that story. So it makes sense that they would be like, yeah, this is what happened, and we're gonna figure this in. So be interesting. Would love to see Dinatra come back.
Yeah, we get to play a game of who wasn't on Romulus.
Yeah.
I saw someone post somewhere, there's this, his favorite android's got to still be around, and in Countdown comic they put all the memories of before, or all of Data got all his memories back and took over B4's body, right?
Right.
But Brent Spiner isn't going to be playing Data, probably.
No, not unless they do some, I
mean, on
CGI,
the other hand,
some Tarkin level CGI.
Well, not even Tarkin. I mean,
Sam Jackson.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. I mean, if they can crank that, I mean, that's probably a bit much for a TV show, but if they can crank him back 10 years, they can certainly do. I mean, they've got plenty of footage of what Data is supposed to look like,
Yeah. I mean, it's
make that happen.
I'm assuming that he wouldn't be a regular, so they could probably afford to do it for like an episode.
Yeah. Yeah. But everyone else probably, aged at the right rate.
Yeah.
Or close, get LeVar Burton back. Maybe some.
Well, they obviously timed it so that Picard, Patrick Stewart will still look, appropriate for the age of Picard, in this timeline. So, yeah, I mean, you could. They did not outright deny the return of any other TNG cast members was how the article put it. There was when the announcement was made for the Picard show, they were like, all of the other cast members were like, nope, nobody's talked to me.
Uh-huh.
But
Right.
but that doesn't mean they haven't done it since then. Or planning to.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be great. Man, that sounds fun. I'm looking forward to that. Probably more than cartoon. About as much as probably more than Discovery coming back. That's because that's prime target of getting into Star Trek was TNG era. So that's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah. So I was really surprised that was like a meaty piece of information that they released. So I'm that's definitely building interest for me. So yeah, exciting news.
Yeah, that sounds great. Don't screw it up.
Please don't F it up. So yeah, that's probably the biggest Star Trek news on tap right now. We have a tournament this weekend. Speaking of non sequiturs,
are you going?
I am planning to go. I have it like blocked out on my calendar. I'm hoping to. I've been like up and down health wise this week. Just literally, like 75% of our family was sick in various levels over the holidays, and I've been fighting to stay healthy. I managed to make it through our convention this weekend with a relatively unscathed, but I've been kind of taking it easy to try and keep. So as long as that holds, I'll probably print out a deck list and try to put something together and show up, because I miss hanging out with everybody and playing the game. So
yeah, ditto. I'm unfortunately not going to be in town that weekend, so you'll have to give me a report on how it goes. So I give my best to everyone who's around.
Will do.
Fortunately, that means I'm not going to be able to take one of our tournament kits. So tournament kits are back up in the warehouse. So requisition one, and we'll send them your way. Actually, just got a box from one of our. I'm gonna open it up. I got a box we've started doing since our scrapbooking parties have kind of what do you say, are less frequent and less productive as the number of folks around has gone down. So we started doing satellite card production facilities. So other groups have been making things, and this just arrived today. Wow! All right, that's something you don't see every day.
Oh wow!
Young Jedi box. That's awesome, man. I used to carry my Star Wars or my Star Trek deck in a Young Jedi box all the time because it was perfect size. Right, 100,000 Fizbin.
Woo!
So it looks like we've got some Tribbles foils in here. We've got more Tribbles foils, more Tribbles foils, more Tribbles foils. We've got some Tribbles foils, more Tribbles foils. Wow, is this all this? Oh, and a bunch of what the heck is this? Harsh conditions. Eric Sungs. What is it? Harsh condition to Eric Sungs.
Whoa! Yeah. Oh, there's something at the end there.
We got some unexpected
difficulties. Yeah, that's what it looked like.
We've got some Man of Resolves.
Hoo-hoo.
Reflections release. Deanna Troy.
Dang. So we got some old school Decipher promos.
I've got an old Sela. This must be Energized release, maybe?
Oh, yeah.
0P5. And a couple of old tournament foils. I got some Picards. There's some of these.
Oh, wow. The original 2E Premiere cycle. Wow.
Fantastic. Well, this is well done. Let me take a look at these. These cards look great. Here's a Dabo. Great centering.
Oh, very nice.
Edges. Looks great. It was I don't know. It looks like the top of the card has some silver on the top, but that's just because the light's reflecting.
I think this really good. Glare. Oh yeah, at the right angle you can see it's really nice and solid.
Yeah, that looks really good. So, well done. Excellent work, and we will finally have Tribbles back on the. Tribbles are back on the menu. We'll put them back up in the shop. Fantastic.
Well, that's great news.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see. So when last we spoke, I was talking about how much I was sinking time into Fleet Command.
Yes.
I haven't stopped playing. Uh, I was on the precipice of going to level 15, and 15 is when your base can start being attacked. So
Yes.
I was teching everything up. I teched about 95% of the way and then just took the plunge and haven't been attacked. At around the same time, I moved my base into a kind of far off section. And after I moved there, I realized that there were like 4 people from another Arrival Alliance there. I'm like, oh, that's
Hey, friends.
yeah, I'm gonna put my shields up right now because I I don't want anything bad to happen. I sent a note to one of the players there, said, hey, my alliance is, I'm probably the strongest person in my alliance right now, which is not what you want to see. How is there any room in yours? Because they were all high level, and they're like, yeah, there is. Why don't you join up? So I jettisoned the board collective, and I joined up. We're in the middle of a big event right now, and they're like the number 4 alliance, and all the
Wow.
servers. So it's like I'm surrounded by really high level people. They're active all the time. So when I make something new and you request help, within minutes
Yeah.
it stacks up. 14 people have already said, "Here's some help." Uh, the it There's a Discord that they've got conversations going on. They're planning on tactics. I've jumped in on a couple of raids on different places, and
Wow.
it was a lot of fun. It adds a whole other dimension to uh, to the game because you're playing with other people. They're doing combo attacks where there's a base that's too big for any one player to hit. So the heavy hitters will go in for the first wave, and then when all the ships spread out to attack them, all the people who aren't strong enough to do any damage, this guy will fly in and distract those ships while the other players, the heavy hitters, are being repaired and get sent back in to actually take it. It's coordinated efforts.
Wow.
It's been grand. Uh, it probably helps. Ooh, research is done. It probably helps that I picked an active alliance and they had room. And I mean, there's 60 people in this group, and I'm probably bottom third, but I'm still moving up. I think I'm almost ready to go up to 17.
Oh,
But I've got
wow.
like 240K just overall power, and just tiered up one of my ships. Having a good time. You know what I haven't done? I still haven't spent $5. Just for the simplest of things. I probably will do that once I pull the trigger and go up to 17. I think
Hey,
19 is the next block, and once you get to 19, I think more people can attack you, and they can not only attack your base, they can destroy it. I think, but whatever.
I feel like if you're enjoying what you're doing without having to pay, then keep doing it. Unless you really need whatever it is that you're going to get for that $5.
I don't, but what I've seen is the $5 things. As time goes on, what you get is less and less relevant. So if I'm going to pay $5, I
You
should
want to
do
get
it now and get something out of it rather than pay $5 later and not get something out of it. I don't know.
or just not pay $5
I could do
for
that.
stuff for stuff that is not gonna be relevant.
I could do that.
Is there something else you get along with the irrelevant stuff that
Yeah.
paying $5?
There's a lot of raw materials that you use for things that
All right.
are just scarce, and you get like a 600 latinum bars. I'd like to keep a nice 200 latinum bar, balance. If there's something I need to buy, I can
Yeah.
get it instantly. But 600 more would be 3 times as much as I carry
Sure.
on hand. So that would be pretty good. And when you buy it, stop trying to tell me to do that. Everyone in your clan gets a bonus as well. So
Oh, well, that's cool.
that's nice, and especially with a big group. That'd be 60 people getting something out of it. So
Yeah.
I,
Well,
before I go on, I still
yeah.
see on Reddit and other places that this is a terrible game and you shouldn't play it. Just because when you get to a certain level, apparently there's nothing left to do. The creators of this game are apparently notorious for making a game that's great for the first month, and then everything is, if you want to advance, you have to pay. And but honestly, I haven't gotten there yet, and the people in the group that I have that are higher level than me don't sound like they're there either. And so I'm gonna keep playing. I'll keep you posted on how it goes.
Well, I remember you mentioning that, and so I have been taking my time. I did the same thing. I completely leveled up every other building you can level before hitting 15. I did every piece of research except like 2 repair things, but literally everything else up. And so, because I had, especially over the weekend, I was like, well, all of these things take 10, 11, 12 hours to complete. So since I was already at a convention when I wasn't going to be able to pay attention, I got to do that. I was like, all right, set something up in the morning, set something up in the evening, and just let it go. And so, like Saturday or Sunday, I went ahead and hit the level up button. And so, since Monday, I had been level 15, and I haven't been attacked yet. I cranked the crap out of my defenses. So I am also in a far reach of one of the far reaches of the galaxy. So I don't know if anybody wants to come all the way out here with their coordinated effort, but it certainly sounds like it's interesting to hear you say how beneficial it has been to be part of a really solid fleet.
Solid and active. I would say active is
Yeah.
the most important.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you're right though. Having a higher than average defense because you rank that up first, and also being cash poor all the time because you're spending it on things also makes you I don't want to say a worthless target, but that's what I'm practicing being.
Well, if there's nothing to steal, there's no reason to attack. So
big effort for low reward. So
yeah,
that's what I've been doing. Just every once in a while, just popping on and making sure that I'm always researching and I'm always building. That way, I don't have anything in my stores
right
to steal. And I found a new place to mine. I've been pretty happy with that. I've got and just popping on every once in a while to level things up and making sure that I'm always helping everyone else. Because I think someone got kicked out when I asked if I could join because they weren't doing anything. So I was making sure I'm staying active and chatting in the chat room and being around. Like I said, I'm having a good time.
Nice. Well, look forward to hearing how it goes as you rank up in that fleet.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think that's probably all the intelligence we have for this week. Some big stuff going on Star Trek-wise, which is exciting. And I'm going to go watch some Orville. So in the meantime, I am Sir Rogue.
And I'm Sir Dan.
And I'll remind you all to expand your power in the Fleet Command universe.
And I will start researching something else to end.